College of Arts and Science for Women. Thanks a lot for the Director, Professor Dr. M. Shahul Hamid, Honorable Principal Dr. Susani Ernest, Principal Ma'am, J. Ravati Ma'am, Head of the Department of Commerce and Management, and Professor Dr. Devendra Sharma, Professor Department of Commerce, Himachal Pradesh University, Samral Shimla, for guiding me and for giving the great opportunity. So, as Iman College of Arts and Science for Women have displayed and showed that a college education shows a man how little other people know. It's rightly has been stated in one of the eminent college that a college education shows a man how little other people know, and education is not the preparation of life, even education is life itself. So, starting from these thoughts of the college, I'm really thankful for giving such a great opportunity. Today, we are talking about the new education policy 2020. So, education from earliest India till the modern world, people are going educated, and really, in context of India, we can't say what is the exact meaning of education. Many foreign countries aim that we have better education than India. Even India has such a great curriculum and syllabus, but no far there are many challenges in the education system in India. So let us discuss step by step. So have a roadmap of education policy starting with the year 1968, one of the first education commission that has been established for 2 years. Indira Gandhi government announces first national policy on education in 1968 based on the recommendations of the Education Commission 1964 and 1966. Education policy is not all about that key we have thinking about the changes in the education in the year 2021, but as earliest in the from the years 1960s, many eminent persons, various governments have tried to change the education system of the country. And totally, we also know that there is some lack of research and academic work in our education. In 1968, Indira Gandhi government announces the first national education policy, which is based on the Educational Commission. Establishment of UGC was there. Further, higher education agencies establishment is there. At 1986, when Rajiv Gandhi government was there, they launched new education policy focusing on the adult education and empowerment of minorities. Again, in 1992, modification of the 1986 National Education Policy under P.V. Narasimha Rao government added a common entrance examination for professional and technical programs. So I'm saying that it's not a new for India. Education policy is not a new concept for India, but from many years we are focusing to make our education better and better. From 1968, then 1986. After 1992, there is a modification of 1986 National Education Policy under P.V. Narasimha Rao government, adding a common entrance examination for professional and technical programs. 2005, there is a new education policy introduced by Manmohan Singh government based on the common minimum program. Again, 2016, new education policy by currently government addressing gender discrimination, creating an educational tribunals and a common curriculum for science, mathematics, and English. And again, 2017, a new education plan with major changes scheduled to be launched by the current government has already launched at 2020. So this is the roadmap of the evolution of the national education policy of India. We are not saying that recently we have upgraded ourselves. Although it's a concept, it takes many times, many years to implement such a great policy in context of Indian countries. Going to the forward, what is now? It's all about the previous concept, what we have discussed. We have discussed from 1968 to 2020 education policy. Many changes are there. So what current education policy says, what the new education policy 2020 is saying, so let us discuss. So the major highlights of higher education curriculum, yeah, higher education is, so as we know that key in this new education policy 2020, there must be a flexibility of subjects. Earlier, a science student can't adopt the subjects from arts. Even as I am doing Bachelor of Commerce, I am unaware to take the subjects of physics, chemistry, biology, and another various subjects. There is no flexibility of subjects. Bachelor of Arts student is compelled to study only BA subjects, that is history, political science, geography, psychology. So in New Education Policy 2020, it states that ki instead of just focusing on your own curriculum or your main curriculum, you are just have a focus on another subjects also. So this is one of the major initiative taken by the government through National Education Policy. Flexibility of subjects are there. Multiple entry and exit to be allowed with appropriate certification. As we know that for 1 year we will get diploma certificate, for 2 year diploma, 3 year degree with research. Many things are there. Then academic bank of credits to be established to facilitate transfer of credits. So earlier in India, there was only a percentage system, grading system was there. Now there is a bank. And for a layman, what you say that what is a bank? He will say that the bank is an institution in which where we can easily deposit our money. But for student, academic bank is really a new term, a new situation, new practice. That means that in academic banks we can easily transfer our credits. Suppose I have a credit, suppose I am a dropout student. I have completed my first year in ABC college, and due to some financial problems, yeah, due to some family problems, there is a situation to left the college. And due to some financial problems, I left the college. And after 2 years, again I have to take admission in the first year. And already what I have learned in first year that has been totally collapsed. So what is the issue? Issue is that now I can easily transfer my credits. Now I have completed my first year. After 2 years, I can take same admission under same roll number in second year. So that was the great initiative in new education policy and National Research Foundation to be established to foster a strong research culture. In the coming slides, I will discuss what is the condition of research in our India. What is the exact condition of the research in our India? So for lacking that, there is a establishment of National Research Foundation, an affiliation system to be phased out in 15 years with graded autonomy to the colleges. For promoting the regional languages, the earlier languages, there will be a National Institute for Pali, Persian, and Prakrit. These language, Swami, Lord Buddha has given such a speech in one of the language. Then Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation to be set up. The main focus of new education policy is all about it emphasis on the gender inclusion fund. A little bit again, I am sharing my screen. The new education policy 2020 emphasis of gender inclusion fund and special education zones for economics teachers, economic professors, and other economists. We have studied special economic zones, but now there are special education zones for disadvantaged regions, groups, and other cultural peoples. So although it will take time to implement such type of policy, it's a draft. Although it will take many times for the proper implementation of new education policy, but we are focusing on both advantages and disadvantages. Even when I will be a professor in such a great universities, then I will see these type of changes. The new education policy 2020 advocates increased use of technology with equity. As you know, the new education policy is focusing on the massive open online courses. Further, in further slides, we will also discuss about it. So these are the basic outlook of new education policy. Further looking Transforming higher education, that is national education policy. What is the roadmap? What is the main focus? Firstly, enhancing gross enrollment ratio to 50% by 2035, from 26.3% in 2018 to 15% by the year 2035. We want that our half population, yeah, 50% ratio will cover up the seats in various government colleges in India, although private colleges also, and doubling the capacity and adding 35 million new seats. As earlier, we are seeking that our people are just going to the foreign countries to study higher education. Even recently, we have seen the case of Ukraine, where the students of MBBS are coming back to their country. What is the lag? Either MBBS education is not available in our country. We can't say that. So, how to increase the gross enrollment ratio with district level higher education institutes plus online distance learning? Many organizations are just promoting online education learning in their curriculum, and great organizations, even in our Punjab, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, they are just focusing to deliver the lectures, deliver the content through online mode. A special portal of online admissions are there. You have to just give the online papers. Everything must be online. So there must be a holistic and multidisciplinary education approach. As I already said, that there will be a flexibility across humanities subjects, social science subjects, natural science, formal science, applied science, and many other things. There is a holistic, multidimensional educational approach. Further, focusing on the technology in education, as we are in many parts of India currently, we can say that there is only chalk and talk method, the chalk and talk method, and new education policy wants to replace it. You have to open the doors of all the possibilities, how we can easily implement our learning, our practices to develop the heritage culture of our students. There must be a technological in the education. This is a mobile phone in my hand, and it's my duty ki how can I use this mobile phone properly to teach my students, how I can easily understand the concepts. Even if we know about the many online apps are there that gives a great flexibility in the teaching. Even COVID-19 have just reviled us that we can easily teach from far distance to the students. There must be a technological will play a crucial role in the development of the education in our country. Then culture of research and knowledge creation. There is an investment into the future of country. As we know that India spends only 0.69% of the GDP in research, which is less than one of the great countries which are so far from India, that is United States and China. There must be an optimal learning environment, which means that instead of academics, there must be a focus on sports, mental health, various types of ethics. There must be pedagogy redesigning to learn to improve the learning outcomes. Internationalization, open doors to the global universities. I think time will come when students from USA, students from China will study in our India. Although it was a time that our students are going abroad to study, our students are going to study to make be for being a doctor in Ukraine. Then time will come. Then from people from various countries will come to the India. So one of the main aim of the new education policy 2020 is also internationalization. That means the doors are open for global universities to set up campuses in India. Even if our education policy will have a great impact on the education, then people from other countries will also take admissions in our institutions. Then sport to bring more inclusivity, financial and mentorship for students from social economical disadvantaged backgrounds, because sometimes there is a lack of knowledge and issue is that. Then faculty autonomy and freedom to innovate, faculty improvement, faculty empowerment, faculty upgradation. Although without faculty, we can't say what is education. Without faculty, without human resources, education is zero. But little bit new education policy will state it. Then regulatory bodies and consolidation. There must be a provision for setting up of the Higher Education Commission as a unified body for ease and effective governance, and institutional consolidation, where the simplify way to simplify the higher education structure into universities and autonomous degree granting colleges, and no more nomenclature such as deemed to be university, affiliating university, etc. Further, if we are saying how can we move towards more holistic education. Various things have been concluded in the new education policy 2020. There must towards a holistic education, optimal learning environment and support for students, motivated, energized, and capable faculty must be there. Instead of student education, further teacher education must be there. Vocational education, professional education, promoting high quality research. These are the indicators of new education policy. Effective governance and leadership, transforming the regulatory system, promotion of Indian languages, arts, and culture. As in our previous slide, we have already focused on the promotion of the various regional languages like Pali, Persian, Prakritic, even many languages from other states also people will be aware to understand, exchange the thoughts from one language to another. So these are the indicators towards a more holistic education, optimal learning environment support for students, a motivated, energized, and capable faculty, teacher education, reimagining vocationalization, and further indicators. Now, step by step, we will go through these indicators. Institutional restructuring and reconsolidation. One of the reports that has been suggested a consolidation of 800 universities and 44,000 colleges to 15,000 large institutions with teaching and research programs across disciplines and fields. So instead of 44,000 colleges and 800 universities, both will be consolidated to 15,000 large institutions. It's easy for the beneficial for the students, teachers. Their proper and big institution will form, and the policy has recommended large multidisciplinary universities or higher educational institutions clusters which are well resourced, vibrant, autonomous, and multidisciplinary. There will be three types of institutions as per the new education policy 2020: type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 institutions are those institutions which will focus on the world class research and high quality teaching. Although in India, we can say that IIM, IITs, IIS, Indian Institute of Science, Indian Institutes of Management, and Indian Institutes of Technologies are the greatest institution. And everyone, students who want to pursue MBA, has an aim to clear the CAT examination, the Common Admission Test. And for foreign university, there is a provision of GMAT. But the issue is that in India, why we are not focusing on these things? Why there are lack of such institutions which have a world-class research and high-quality teachings? Then type 2 institutions are those institutions with a major focus on high-quality teaching and significant contributions to research. Significant contribution to the research and little bit type 3 institutions will serve the undergraduate program with high-quality teaching. Teaching with research, everything is there. Further, high quality liberal education. We have to transform our society. There must be a provision in new education policy to the transformation of the society to a class of dynamic, productive, and thoughtful citizens through liberal education should be the primary focus of the higher education. We want to go through the bookish language. Everything is a bookish language. So what we focus, there is a book in my hand, I have to just clear the examination. There must be provisions of a midterm exam, final semester exam. A student who is just taking has a student who has taken admission in the first semester, and the student who has just go through the colleges as it was the last day of his college. What they learned? Only they have just for many institutions have just a great research with their study, but issue is that we are currently Indian government, Indian education system is just a rote learning. We are not focusing on the proper research. What the definition has been indicated in the book, we just learned it and write exams, take given exams, and took the degree. But issue is that what actually I have learned, how many researches I have been conducted, what is the my research contribution towards my nation, what is the research contribution, how can I make a productive thoughts. We want to transform this type of education, and it is one of the indicator of new education policy, that is a high quality liberal education. Then transformation of the society to a class of dynamic, productive, thoughtful citizens. Our citizens must be thoughtful citizens. How this is possible? Through liberal education at the society. Think out of the box. If we are just thinking out of the box, then through the brainstorming in our class, we can exchange our ideas. Everything near me is the idea of someone. You have a mobile phone in your hand, it's a research, it's an idea of someone. There is a laptop and computer screens nearby you, it's an idea. The fan is running, it's an idea. Thoughts must be there. As entrepreneurship, what is entrepreneurship? It's a little bit thought, putting some investment is a business. Then one of the main lead role of transforming higher education is to transform the liberal education. Then curriculum structure. As I told earlier, ki little bit liberal curriculum with a creative combination of disciplines and multiple points of entry and exit makes the higher education system highly flexible. And the policy states that the UG program will be of 3 or 4 years of duration. Earlier, there is no provision of research, although many great organizations just give the project work to the students to be completed. Now, we are focusing on the research work. We must be there. What I have learned, our education is not that education that this is the book, I have learned it, given the paper and just pass the examination, take the bachelor degree, one convocation event I have attended, everything clear, and I am the graduate of commerce. But actually, how can I implement my education for the research purpose? What is my idea? What is my contribution? We want that type of education, and new education policy states that if there is a flexible curricular structure, we can easily implement the greatest education in our institutions or universities. I am an art student and I also want to know about the accounts. So art student, a BA student is studying accountancy, business study. So there must be such a flexible. Earlier, I didn't think so. Some of the universities are providing such a great thing. Then students can gain a diploma after successful completion of 1 year program. As the recently I stated that suppose I have taken the admission in first year and I have completed the first year of graduation, but due to some financial problem, due to some other problems in my family, I can't complete my education furthermore. And after 2 years, I want to further take the admission. Then if I completed 1 year, I will get the 1 year diploma, advanced diploma for the completion of 2 years program. After completing 3 years, there is a provision of bachelor degree, suppose Bachelor of Arts, and after 4 year programs, you can get a bachelor degree with research program like Bachelor of Liberal Arts. So a 1 year certificate, then 2 years advanced certificate, diploma for 3 years, the bachelor degree, and 4 year degree with research. Flexibility in master programs. So as we know that earlier MPhil is compulsory, and now new education policy has suggested discontinuing the MPhil program, and the eligibility for the PhD will be a master program or a 4 year undergraduate program with honors. So master degree programs also have a flexibility as per the new education policy. Earlier, for being a professor in the university, we have to do bachelor degree, then master degree, MPhil, PhD, then clearing UGC net. Many things are there. But the new education policy states that a little bit slightly there will be a change. Institutions have a flexibility to design multiple variants of the master program. Type 1 combination is there, a 2 year master program with the 2 year entirely for research. Again, I'm saying that for master degree programs, even starting from the bachelor degree programs, we are focusing through the exact learning, not the rote learning. A 2-year master program will with the 2-year entirely for research, and this program is offered to the students who have successfully completed a 3-year bachelor program. Then type 2 combination states that a 1-year program offered to the students who have successfully completed a 4-year undergraduate program with honors, and type 3 combination is 5 years integrated master program. Even many private institutions and organizations are just focusing on this type 3 combination, a complete 5-year integrated master program. Again, issue is that if the particular institution is focusing on the research, then it will be beneficial to the nation as well as the particular industry. Then conductive learning environment. These are the indicators of new education policy. The policy has suggested a curriculum optimization for ensuring a joyful, rigorous, engaging, responsive, and effectively pedagogical environment that fosters an overall development of the students. Instead of just taking classes, we have to focus a joyful environment. Joyful environment doesn't mean that give every period a free period, a play period. No, effectively utilization of technology in your classroom, a digital whole world digital environment in your classroom. There must be engaging platform that must be responsive, brainstorming session. Instead of rote learning, student may enjoy this study, and by playing just they are focusing on the research. The students should be exposed to numerous and meaningful social engagement to develop their capacities and dispositions for an effective social life. Although choice-based credit systems will improve to allow flexibility and innovation. We have to focus on the conductive learning environment. Then open learning and internationalization. The distance education program will be expanded to increase the gross and enrollment ratio to 50%, as we have stated. Then, although there are many online platforms like digital repositories, digital media for virtual learning, credit-based recognition of MOOCs will be ensured in par with high-quality in-class programs. Although Government of India is also providing SWAYAM courses for the better upliftment of the students as well as the faculty. So go through the detailed discussion on the MOOC, online course. Even I have also taken the MOOC from Australia. So what is massive? Although there are only 20 to 60 students in your class, maximum we can say that 80 students. But what is massive? 100, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 million. The massive means many peoples under the same platform. We are just conducting this FDP through the online portal, online mode, that is massive Google Meet. Open registration, local cohorts, self-paced course, start and end dates are there, even college credits are there, badges are there, instructor is there, community is there, assessments are there, real-time interaction is there, open content is there. Some organizations are providing free of cost certificates as well as the education, affordable, even at any time, every time you can easily take the classes. Such a great universities have started the open online learning also in the institution. Then the focus on scalability and focus on community and connections. This is the major role of the massive open online courses. Then, and it, one of the great parameter of new education policy, because we think that if you want to increase the gross enrollment ratio, many organizations must focus on their technology, their issues, and even online courses must be there that will help to change the overall educational environment in our country. That is the massive open online courses which provides these facilities to the students. Even as in faculty, we can also join MOOC courses every year. Swayam, a government portal, Swayam. It is an online portal where courses from Government of India along with various professional institutions like NCRT, UGC, IGNU, Other organizations are there that are reaching and helping the faculties to more learning, more accessibility, and more teaching. We can easily enroll, and every year National Testing Agency (NTA) conducts the exam of SWAYAM courses that is really beneficial for the students as well as others also. Next, this is the faculty development program. We are handling it, empowering faculty. Although many organizations have a great source of teachers, many teachers are there, many faculties are there, but for that, because we can say that key, we have to upgrade ourselves, we have to maintain ourselves. By upgrading and maintaining ourselves, that is the main parameter of national education. Teachers, the pivotal factor that decides the quality of an education system is its faculty with competence and commitment. All institutions should have adequate faculty to meet the program and subject needs, and desired student-teacher ratio of 30:1 should be ensured. The faculty will be empowered to make curricular choices for their courses and pursue research with academic freedom. This is the main, again, I'm repeating that key, the new education policy is just focusing that the faculty will be empowered to make curricular choices for their course and pursue research with academic freedom. Saying again and again that we are focusing on the research, although it's challenging to implement such type of policy in India. A little bit lack of infrastructure is there, but as this is the also a faculty development program where we are focusing for the new education policy and how we can implement. It's not government, we teachers can implement new education policy easily with our students. We have to make changes. We know how to better utilize the new education policy in our curriculum. The faculty in all institutions should develop themselves, and various institutions should develop continuously faculty development programs to keep the faculty member abreast with the latest trends in discipline, pedagogy, and research. Then next parameter is empowered governance and autonomy. Academic and administrative and financial autonomy will be provided to all institutions for fostering high quality education and research in a nurturing culture, and the process of affiliation will be stopped. Even every little bit, many private organizations, many other government organizations are just focusing on the academic work, and little bit autonomy, there is a lack of autonomy in our old education systems, and higher education systems will be governed by the independent boards. Here all institutions will have the freedom to develop curriculum, start and run programs, deciding the resource requirements, the developing the internal systems. Faculty will be having academic freedom in deciding pedagogical approaches, student assessment, and research. For this, there is a provision of transformation of the regulatory system. As per the guidelines, standard setting, funding, accreditation, and will be carried about different independent bodies in coming future. The National Education Regulatory Authority will be the only regulatory authority for higher education, which includes the professional education also. The National Education Regulatory Authority. Then University Grants Commission, that is UGC, will be transformed into the Higher Education Grants Council that is responsible for the funding of higher education. Now, UGC is responsible for higher education in India, but in the coming national education policies, there must be slightly changes with the implementation, the coming of National Education Regulatory Authority. Then the Journal Education Council will be set up and will develop the National Higher Education Qualifications Framework to frame graduate attributes and expected learning outcomes to facilitate the implementation of outcome-based learning. There must be a provision of National Assessment and Accreditation Council. As I already talked that there will be a provision of credit bank, academic credit bank. and the whole that bank will be managed by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council that will be responsible for the assessments and the accreditation of the institutions. The assessment parameter will be based on the regulation put forth by the regulatory authority, and the Ayog, that is Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog, or the National Education Commission, under the headed by the Prime Minister, it will be the custodian of the vision of education in India. And positively, in the lines of national education policy, the higher educational institutions are vested with the higher responsibility of teaching by adoption of innovative methods, promotion of research, coordinate and support peer institutions for mutual benefits, academic involvement in the community engagement and services, and to work in par with the industrial and social societal needs to support faculty for enhancement for their competencies and support school education. So these are the parameters which we have to focus in the new education policy that we studied. So furtherly, we can say that key technology with integration must be there. Our promotion of languages are there. So if we're talking about the continental research as a main focus is of research, so what the currently data says about research, that is quality education, how we enhance the quality education. I am getting the education, our students are getting education. The main aim of the education is not to clear the examination, to just take the degrees, master degrees. What is the exact aim of the education? How we can give the quality education? Although we can't say that only research is the perspective of the education. Education is not all about the memorizing books. As a student, education is not me for giving the papers and so on. All this is a part of the organization. Now our students are just judged with the criteria of the marks. He is a student who is getting 90% of marks. This is the student, he has failed in his subject. Although we can say that education is nothing all about how many marks a student get. Suppose a student who has failed in the mathematics is learned a great software engineer without taking any type of graduation. The person who is handling the Facebook, that is a Meta, is a eighth fail person, eighth pass person. We can say that education is not all about. But now question arises, why there is a challenge of quality education in India? In our ancient India, even the various developments have been arisen from the India. The Aryabhat has just invented zero. Panini, Chanakya, we seen he wrote a book on Arthashastra. So earliest education was a quality education system. The judging of the criteria of all the students is not about the marks that he has been received in his graduation, in its post graduation. So this was the first university that was established in Takshila in our India in 700 BC, and more than 10,500 students from all over the world at that time. 10,500 students from all over the world studied more than 60 subjects here. It means that our education system is one of the ancient education system in the world. Yes, many inventions have been arisen from the India. Many things have been come from the India. Great inventions, great leaders are from India. Great inventors from India. The CEO of Google is from the Indian origin. So earliest the research in ancient India was great. But now, what the facts say? Let us go through these facts. According to the World Development Indicators published by the World Bank, India spends barely 0.69% of the GDP on research, whereas the various countries which are saying that they are best in education, like USA, China, Germany, Japan, they spend respectively 3%, 2.8%, 2%, and 3.2%, respectively of their GDP, not on education, but research. How can we say that by spending a little bit amount on the research will create our education system? There must be a question. Then India spends barely 0.69% of the GDP on research. So what's all about this? Furtherly, if a World Intellectual Property Organization, when we talk about the patents, Then we have a poorly performed in having patent rights. Again, the data by WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, total 50,000 patents application of India are in which 70% are by non-residents. If we compare about the China, as we know that China and USA are the best in the education in the world. But if we compare this to the China, 1.5 million applications and the USA 60 million applications, nearly half by the residents are there, and really it speaks volume about the Indian poor relative position in research and development. This was the data, and we think that the new education policy will change the all the data. A time will come, the issue will come when our GDP will raise and more focus on research and education will be there if we're focusing on the parameter of the education. The key reasons why this the abysmal performance are there. The first is inadequate involvement of industry and the higher education sector, as well as lack of collaboration between these entities and the government in activity promoting research and development. Every years, lakhs of students are graduated from the various universities, colleges in the world. I think the data will be in crores also. 50, 60 lakh students every year pass the college. How many of them are getting the good job? How many of them are a great entrepreneurs? How many of them are a businessman? How many of them are the persons with high capability of taking the risk? I didn't think the data will be in the quotes. There is the inadequate involvement of industries. We have to focus on the industrial trainings, industrial movements, again focusing on the research and the other events. There must be an inadequate involvement of industry and the higher education sector, as well as the lack of collaboration between these entities and the government in actively promoting research and development. There is a lack of funding and low risk appetite combined with a short term rather than a long term vision. Even we are focusing on the clearing the government exams many every year. Crores of people are focusing on the government exams, only few are selected. But we have to change all these things through our new education policy. The leaders, the educators, we are the mentors, we are the motivators of our students, we are the mentors of our the students. We have to focus that our student will have a great vision. My student have a great long-term vision. They must have taking the risk-taking capacity. They are born as they will be made as an entrepreneur. So it's our duty. Then research ecosystem. Little bit research ecosystem under the stewards of the National Research Fund. It aims at the providing the required impetus to grow the research and development agenda by way of building a research ecosystem comprising the government, universities, research institutions, and industries. And again, the NRF will work towards seeding, funding, coordinating, and monitoring research and innovative activities. So this was the question again rising that why we are there is a lack in our education system. Why other countries are giving a great focus in the education. So issue is that innovative technology, there is a lack of innovative technologies in organizations. I think in many government colleges in our country, they haven't any proper infrastructure, technological infrastructure. There's a lacking of technological infrastructure in various parts of the countries. The colleges in rural areas, even they have only one or two computers in their offices. So how can we say that we can bring the all over world in our single classroom? It's only through internet. Lack of funding is there. Although governments are releasing many funds to the particular colleges, but little bit issue is that at grassroots level, at real level, at ground level, when we go, really there is a poor condition of various colleges in our India, And I hope that new education policy will focus to make a virtual change, a virtual effect of our education in our colleges. So, for this, the national regulatory framework will work towards the seeding, funding, coordinating, and monitoring research and innovation initiatives. It will also encourage research through merit based peer evaluation of research products, along with incentives like to awards of outstanding work. Further, if we go to the patents, research and patents, there must be a collaboration between academics and industries envisioned by the new education policy. Calls for the patent policy structure at the university level to facilitate more patent applications. That will be only possible if we just give an opportunity to our students to think out of box, to grow, to go out from these four walls. The focus is how can make easily patent. Again, I'm saying that ki every item nears you, a pen in your hand, a notebook in your table, PC in your office, a mobile phone is in your hand. Everything is an idea of a person, an innovator, an entrepreneur. It's our duty how our students can think. The new education policy will focus on the research, patents, and many other criteria for the overall development of the students, not only academic developments. A person who is getting 90% in plus two, 90% in graduation, 98% in post graduation, but he is unemployed yet. This is the real envision of our India. Even for the persons who get the PhD are jobless. Why? We think that ki after studying properly we get a good job. But many people, I have seen many people with the doctorate degree are jobless. Again, crores of people cleared the college examination. Many of them are jobless because we have to focus on the encouragement of the technology. There must be brainstorming sessions in the students, the way they think. There must be a thinking in the mind of the student ki why I am searching for a job when I am capable to give the job. Again, I am saying there must be a thinking in the student why I am searching for a job if I am the capable to give the job. That will only focus when a proper implementation of new education policy must be there to innovate, to embrace the research education in India. Then multidisciplinary approach in education and need to nurture a curious and creative mind with a view to develop analytical, critical thinking abilities at an early stage. At an early stage means that after plus two, when the student enter in the college for his first semester class, his first class, from that time to his last semester, it will he will think about his thinking will be how can I use that patent to give the employment of the organization? How can I get funding? How can I get the resources? It's all about the truly education, and we have to focus in such a great education. And without this, we can't say that the exact meaning of education will be embossed. So, furtherly focusing on the system, the research and patent designing, there must be provision in education policy for the same. Then this approach will therefore be instrumental in giving a meaningful trust to the research and innovation, serving as yet another significant harbinger in the long-term and sustainable research and development for India. So this was the education system in our country. We are focusing on it, and I hope that key new education policy will help us to boost, to change our overall environment in the education, and current education system will differ for it, and various the structures, the dimensions of new education policy will help to foster the education of India, to make our country a great and relevant country. And it will like ancient India, when the education purpose is in India, many researchers outside the world come in India to study. Further, we say that new education policy will helpful to for the same, and it will be the beneficial for our students to grow the educational culture in our society, to component the various concepts in the education. That's all for from me. I hope you had liked the presentation, and now I would like to request Dr. Devinder Sharma, Professor, Department of Commerce, to kindly conclude the new education policy.
Thank you very much, respected director of the college, Autonomy College, Dr. Suhani Nest, organizing secretary, and all members of the college, respected delegates, scholars, professors from different institutes and colleges. Thank you very much for providing me platform to speak my few ideas on education policy. However, it's very and analyzed the top new education policy. He has made book analysis of what in the education policy, since he has given this chance to some speak and give my brief idea of education 2020. Definitely, I would like to I would like to, and I think all of us
सर
will
सॉरी टू यू, सर आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही थोड़ी सी.
uh, is it clear? Is it clear?
सर थोड़ा बफरिंग
Still,
सी हो रही है.
there is a disturbance. You're lagging. We cannot hear anything, sir. If you don't mind.
Okay. Am I audible now? Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible. Yes, sir.
Is it clear now?
Sir, voice is a little bit buffering, sir. थोड़ा.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir, little bit clear.
I try to improve it, but it is so. Should I continue, or it is audible? Is it, hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Should I continue?
Sir, little bit buffering here. You are audible, sir.
Today is a problem signal. Please try to start from other point. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, sir. Audible, sir. Sir, थोड़ी सी ना बफरिंग सी हो रही है, वो नेटवर्क इशू होगा थोड़ा सा, आई थिंक.
New education policy. but I am facing a problem. Am I audible now? Clear?
अ, जी सर, आवाज आ रही है। वो ना थोड़ा सा नेटवर्क इशू
Talking
है, रुक
now.
रुक।
Sir, I think you should rejoin. Just click on
Okay,
request and
okay,
rejoin.
okay. Now am I audible?
यस सर।
Yes, sir, you are audible now. Thank you.
थैंक यू सर।
For Mr. Akshay has analyzed the research to academic issue reasons mentioned in the new education policy 2008. He has very well all aspects, including which is related to the level of education and student and teachers. He states that students should not be inside thinking out of the box, means the learning and with cooking. And he has also emphasized on collaboration of education and industry. A question arises in my mind, lacking our talent. In India has a huge talent. We are having experts in every area. And the only 50,000 applicants have come for it. So what is, I think our talents are not responsible for that. If we see the situation when we have to deliver the lecture, not having either facing signal problems, not having the technical instruments, I'm taking instance universities, not the school at the rural areas. Have to do not many things. So saying the thing hypothetical different issue, practical implementation of the things I mentioned. What we have to do is that we have to do enough, quite enough, in order to ensure quality education and to make a change, to drive the change. In this regard, as Mr. Akshay was, we have to involve. Teacher has to involve, student has to be engaged. What we require, the governance which is the national policy that the government enormous is it is good, very good step. But yes, have to practice the things. The practical part should not be left. Theoretical part, it is okay mentioned. Everything is there. Not finance the and that the special financial body to the provision. Apart from that, we need that is the requirement of all teachers, administrators, government. Everyone has to think practically and to facilitate. It is not substantial to enhance research by just moving less than 1% research. So if we have to really and for efficient and effective research orientation, we have to contribute not in terms of time, but other in terms of operation, then we can ensure that the theoretical application which is given in the new education policy would be applied to practical perspective. So the need of the hour is that when excel package of new education policy or to seriously think over it. So with this, I'm thankful to the organizers for
सर
providing me the place to
सर अगेन
about
इट्स सर नेटवर्क इशू फिर से हो रहा है.
how. So, so what we do now? Uh,
सर सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू सर, वो नेटवर्क इशू हो रहा है, आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही.
ठीक है, it's clear now. It's clear.
सर बीच बीच में बिल्कुल आ रही है और उसके बाद काफी रुक रुक
I
के आ रही
think
है.
today in this university, uh, my concluding was that policy, the new education policy is excellent. That is part. But what is required is that we have to practice the thing. Not only the educators of single institution, but the government also. We have to contribute more on education for facilitating for improving the students, servers, to paid attention. What I want to say here. Thank you very much. Thank you all. I'm grateful to the organizers for providing me this. Thank you.
Handovering the session to the organizing secretaries.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable speech.
Thank you is the best prayer that anyone could say. Thank you expresses extreme gratitude, humanity, and understanding. We request Mrs. M. Munafar Hussaina, IQAC coordinator and HOD of Computer Science, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here. It's an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all. On behalf of Ayman College, I first thank God Almighty to generate this occasion a successful one. I extend my generous thanks to our principal, Dr. Shuhashini Ernest Madam, for welcome speech and introduction of the resource persons. My sincere thanks to Director Sir for their valuable support. My heartfelt thanks to our Vice Principal Madam, Dr. M. Nasrin Banu, and Mrs. Famida Ma'am for the sustenance. I extend my gratitude to our resource person, Dr. Devendra Sharma, Professor, Department of Commerce, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla, who take out time from their busy schedule to polish the participants through enhancing quality and driving changes in higher education through new education policy 2020. He also outlined existing education system, different phases of policies followed, and the driving changes needed through a new education policy. Thank you, sir. And also, I thank the resource person, Mr. Akshay Rana, Head Department of BBA, KC Group of Institutions, Navanshahar, Punjab, who spent his valuable time with us through in new education policy 2020, higher education and enhancing quality education in India then and now. He also outlined the evaluation of education policies, various benefits of a new education policy 2020, and also transforming how in higher education in the enrollment, multidisciplinary, the technologies in education, and research and knowledge. He also grasp the gap of research and patterns through new education policy. Thank you, sir. I must thank the organizing committee members and volunteers for hard working to make this FDP program successful. Finally, I thank the participants who take part their active participation from various colleges across the country. Last but not least, I thank my staff members for their participation support. Thank you everyone. Once again, I for making it a great success. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all who stayed patiently. Thank you, sir.
Feedback link will be posted, ma'am.
And can you please send the feedback link, ma'am?
Ma'am, could you please enlighten us about the feedback link as we didn't get any as yet?